Hi everyone, just an overview of the dissertation process. This is going to talk a little bit about what you're going to see when you're doing your dissertation and a little bit of some of the challenges that may come up. Again, we'll discuss this more in the live residency sessions. So what is the dissertation? Dissertation is a major research study, never been done before, or at least done the way that you will do it, advancing the field in a unique way, but it is limited in scope, so you're not going to try to take on the world. Consider the study while you're doing your coursework and choose wisely. So you should already be reading articles or have been reading articles in your field and learning more about what is going on in your field. What are the challenges? What are people saying is needed? Those kind of things. That's what you're developing as you're going along so that you can develop your topic and problem statement even more over time. You will have a dissertation committee. That's going to be your chair who you'll be working with one-on-one directly, and then you'll have your committee members. There are 2 committee members. Your chair will do most of the work with the committee members because that way you only have one point of contact you have to manage. So the committee members will give their feedback to the chair will collect it and then send it to you. You're also going to have an IRB that is going to give you approval to continue to actually conduct your study. The dissertation director and the methodologist will be working with you, and the program director may also get involved in some points. However, the program director isn't really an approver, more of an arbitrator just to make sure things are going along the way they should. There are different stages of the dissertation. The prospectus is the first stage. That is the prospectus tool that we have shown you and that you will have done in your research class, RESR 623. It's an overview of the study, like a 4,000-foot view of the study. So it's going to give the basics so we can understand what it is you're going to do and make sure there's an alignment before you go into the proposal. The proposal is chapters 1, 2, and 3. It's a detailed description of your study. It should be complete and it should have spelling and grammar perfect. It should look like a good solid document. It is your proposal of your research study. The final dissertation is all 5 chapters, the completed work. It includes chapters 4 and 5 and gives a it is basically the completion of your doctoral degree. The dissertation is organized into 5 chapters: standard dissertation, introduction, literature review, methodology, research findings, and conclusions and discussions. So each chapter is distinct but somewhat interrelated. Your introduction is going to cover chapters 2 and 3. Your methodology will inform the introduction, of course, but also will inform the way that you complete your findings. So the chapters 4 comes from the methodology, the work you do in collecting your data. Chapter 4 only presents the research findings. It's typically organized by the themes or hypotheses that you have done, but it only presents findings. So if you're doing qualitative research, it will present paragraphs or little snippets from your interviews that illustrate what you found. If you're doing quantitative, then it will present your statistics and the findings from the statistics. Chapter 5 then is where you discuss what's in Chapter 4 by using the literature from Chapter 2. So you put it into context with other studies, you detail what you found and how it connects to other things in the literature, and then you discuss that, offering future research ideas as well for other researchers to come along and do. The prospectus is done from the prospectus tool, and it's going to be reviewed by the chair, and it's going to be reviewed by not the dissertation director, actually, the methodologist is going to review it as well. You should expect revisions. Revisions are a part of this process. That's why the dissertation takes so long to finish. It's not a thing you're turning in for class. This is a collaboration that you're doing with other doctorally qualified people, including your chair, your committee, and the methodologist, as well as the dissertation director. At this level, the prospectus is only approved by the chair and the methodologist. And the idea behind it is to get alignment. That's the real focus here, is alignment. But you will have to revise it, so be prepared for that. The goal is to get the prospectus done by the end of RESR 694A, so within 3 months of starting your dissertation. You should already have a good outline or draft from RESR 623. Obviously, this is the outline of the Prospectus tool. I'm not going to go into detail on that. You'll see more of that in the dissertation manual. The proposal is the full chapters 1, 2, and 3. It's not an outline, full chapters. It's reviewed by the chair, the committee members, and the methodologist. Remember that they all get 2 weeks to look at your work when they're reviewing it, so you need to plan accordingly, and that this is going to take some time. The thing that speeds this up is how fast you get the revisions done. You will need to learn how to use track changes. You will need to learn how to use Word fully. There's going to be things that you're going to want to know. How to do styles in Word, how to do a table of contents in Word, and how to format things according to APA. You're going to want to make sure that that is done. You're going to want to use Grammarly to check your grammar and your spelling, and you're going to want to make sure that this document is clean. That way, when it goes to your chair, he'll be able to give he or she will be able to give their review, and you'll be able to then respond to it. Then it goes to your committee at the same time. They'll review it, and when they return it, get their revisions done as quickly as possible. Then it will go to the methodologist, and then you will get some more revisions, and you will get those revisions done. And when you're done, you will have a very solid document, and you'll be able to do your study and know that it's going to go well. When you finish the proposal, you will send your IRB. You will submit the IRB form so that you can get IRB approval. Once you get IRB approval, you can commence research. IRB approval is a must because the university will take responsibility for any problems that may come up that happen during your research and help you with that, instead of you being the one that has to bear that responsibility. So therefore, that we must understand what you're going to do and give approval so that we'll make sure that you're not harming anyone during the course of your study. You will gather your data. You'll write chapters 4 and 5. This will be reviewed by the chair, committee members, methodologist, and ultimately the dissertation director. Then you will go on to your defense, and you will give us your dissemination plan. The research classes 6, 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25 are designed to kind of give you an overview of research and then give you some more detail. 6, 17 gives you the general overview, 19 is quantitative, 21 is qualitative. 623 is where you work on your prospectus, and 625 you work on your literature review. By the time you finish all of these classes, you should be very solidly set up to go into your dissertation very well equipped. The dissertation sequence is 694 classes, A through F. There are 6 classes. They are required for you to complete them. Each class is 3 credits, but only costs $1,000. So each class is in sequence, and you must be continuously enrolled while you're working on your dissertation. That means that you must always be in a class while you're working on your dissertation. This is how all universities are, and the only way you can sit out a quarter is if you petition the program director to allow you to take time off, and that needs to be for medical, family emergencies, other issues that may come up, but it needs to be something big. It can't be that you're just not feeling motivated or that you're too busy at work. Those aren't really reasons to give you a quarter off. And the reason for that is when you have a quarter off, you can't communicate with your chair, you can't access the library. All of your services come to an end, and that means that you're basically not working on your dissertation at all. So expect that you're going to be continuously enrolled once you start the dissertation process. There are 3 milestones that we expect you to complete. The first one is the prospectus. We expect that to be done by the end of RESR 694A. If it is not done and approved by your chair and by the methodologist, then you will go into RESR 99 the following quarter. RESR 99 is a class that allows you to continue to be enrolled. However, since it is not part of your program plan, it will not be covered by financial aid. It is only $1,000, but you will have to pay that yourself out of your pocket if you are on financial aid. So be prepared for that. The important thing to do is to understand that you want to avoid taking RESR 99 by keeping up with the deadlines that we have established. This is based on many students having completed the prospectus and how long the average student takes. And it should be that you get this done within 3 months if you're working regularly on it. The next stage is the proposal, the full chapters 1 through 3. That is going to be at the end of RESR 694C. That means that you will have been working through 2 quarters, so 6 months. 6 months is a good amount of time to finish the proposal, especially since the prospectus is already giving you an outline for chapter 1 and getting you ready. Really, by having it done by the end of C is a good amount of time. If you don't, again, you will go into RESR 99 and stay in RESR 99 until you either A, complete your proposal and then you're ready to move on to D, or if you are in RESR 99 3 times, then you will have to write a letter to the program director requesting to continue, because we consider that by the 3rd time you've taken it, again, that's going to have been 9 months. If you haven't completed that level of the sequence, then there's something wrong, and maybe the dissertation isn't the right step for you, and perhaps there might be something else to consider, such as the EDS degree instead of finishing the proposal. However, that very seldom happens, but it is a good indicator that the problem exists, and let's try to solve it. We will work with you as much as possible. Finally, E, again, is another 6 months later. So by the time you get to E, you will have been in the dissertation process for 15 months, so more than a year. And by that point, you should have finished your data collection and have all the chapters sent to the committee. If that's the case, you will be enrolled in RESR F so that you may finish your dissertation and defend. If you're not, you will go into 99 again under the same 3 limit. Overall, you have a limit of 7 years from the time you started the program to complete the dissertation. And that includes time that you may have left for personal reasons, the quarters you've had off, all of that. 7 years from the time you took your first class is the limit for the for your whole entire doctoral degree. If you reach the 7-year limit, you can petition to have more time. Typically, that you're not going to get more than another year to finish. So keep that in mind as you're going through this program. If you do finish more quickly, we can double the classes, but we will not double classes until you have passed milestones. So you could double B and C if you are very far along in the proposal already by the time you finish A. You can double up D and E if you've already started collecting data and analyzing it and think that you will have it done within that next 3-month period. We don't want for the classes to be doubled unless you're really making progress. And we have had students who have made progress and finished in 9 months. So the schedule was adjusted accordingly. This is a process that is not based on quarters. You are enrolled in classes on a quarterly basis, but the truth is if you finish your perspective after a week and get it approved, then you can move on to your proposal while you're still in A. If you finish your proposal in B, then you can move on to your data collection by the time you start C. And then that point, we're going to need to be doubling up to make sure that you get through. So this is something that you are in control of, so don't feel that it's like taking classes and you have to wait. You will continuously be working on your dissertation. Our dissertations are applied dissertations. You probably already know that. A theoretical dissertation that typically you would do with a PhD is where you're just generating new knowledge. You're really not focused on a problem. Applied dissertations, such as the DBA and the EDD, are generating new knowledge in the pursuit of the solution to a problem. So it focuses on the problem. So an example here is, no one knows how entrepreneurs make business decisions, so this research will find out. That's a theoretical question, that's what you're looking at. Whereas an applied question would be, or an applied statement would be, analyze the impact of 2 decision-making principles used by entrepreneurs to evaluate their impact on business sustainability to help solve the problem of small businesses failing within 5 years. focusing on the problem of businesses failing, and you're looking at something specific that you think will help solve that problem. The problem statement is the key. It represents a clear problem in your field. It's not your opinion. It's not what you think exists. It needs to be something that you can show exists in the field as a problem, and then you can specifically examine it from the way that you want to specifically examine it in your local area. It needs to be having a negative impact, and the resolution will provide some kind of value. And the problem statement, of course, is clear and succinct. Just some expectations that you're going to need to know about when you're working on your dissertation. It's going to take time. It's not going to be something that you're going to be able to turn out in a day. It really is a creative process, and as all creative processes are, it takes time, and you may not feel like writing one day. Another day you may write all day. Not everybody has the ability to take a whole day, so sometimes you're going to have to write a little bit every day. People have different styles. People do different things. At some point, you may have to take a vacation from work so that you can just work on your dissertation. You're going to be making some sacrifices along the way. It's just part of working through the dissertation. Remember, your chair is not writing your dissertation, and they're not your editor. So your chair is going to be basically mentoring you through the process of completing your dissertation. So you are the one in control. You're the project manager of your dissertation. If you submitted something to your chair and they didn't respond to you to let you know they got it, send them another email. Say, hey, did you get this? Please let me know. If it's been 2 weeks and you haven't gotten feedback back from your chair, email your chair, call your chair. Ask them, hey, it's been 2 weeks. How much longer do you think it's going to take? You always want to be respectful. People have things come up. They may go on vacation. And that's another thing. Don't expect the minute you get finished and submit it to your chair, they're going to drop everything and work on it. Your chair is a professional in the field. They're a doctor. They're teaching. They're doing other dissertations. They're doing other classes. They may not drop everything to start. They'll let you know that they will get it done within the 2 weeks. But if they're on vacation for a week, it may be 3 weeks. And that's an expectation you have to understand. Communicating with your chair is how you avoid these problems. Make sure you know your chair's schedule. Make sure your chair knows when you're going to be submitting. Set deadlines. Keep those deadlines up so that you're in clear communication with your chair at all times. This has to be scholarly writing, so it can't be an opinion. It can't be a soapbox. It's research. You're doing research. Clearly, APA 7.0 is the new person on campus, and thus you need to make sure you know it. Get the manual. Get a manual with spiral bounds. Get little tabs so that you can tab parts of the manual so you can always go back. And remember, this work needs to be original. It needs to come from you. So don't be plagiarizing other things. You know, you can use work that you've done in CityU. That's fine if it fits. Obviously, you're going to be using parts of the lit review that you did in class. You may be using parts of the prospectus you did in class. That is fine. That's part of it all, but it needs to be your work, and that's what we're going to be looking at. A lot of the problem that doctoral students run into writing the dissertation is not understanding APA, not knowing how to organize their ideas to tell the story, using anthropomorphism, bad grammar, bad spelling. All of these things make your document look unprofessional, and we are not going to have that unprofessional document represent CityU in the world. We want people to be proud of their university, and we want, when someone looks through CityU dissertations, to see that we've done quality work, and that's how they're going to judge you in the field. That's how they're going to be looking at you when you're applying for jobs. Remember, with a problem statement, you don't want to go too big. You want to make sure it is a problem in the field. You really want to make sure it's something that people care about. The 3 whys are something we're going to talk about in the actual live session that will help you with this. And then understanding the concept of an applied study, and remembering that you are the editor, or you're going to hire an editor if you don't have the editing eye. I don't have the editing eye. I had to hire an editor for my dissertation, and we can talk about that and costs and things like that during the live session. One of the issues that also comes up with doctoral students is they get their mind set on their topic and they're not going to let go of it, even after they've been told it's not appropriate. There are many cases of students arguing about wanting to do a certain topic and being told that it's not appropriate, it's not going to work for a dissertation, but they won't let it go. The longer you're arguing with your chair, your committee, whoever you're arguing with, the longer you're arguing, the longer it's going to take you to finish the dissertation. You know, if you have a argument that is based in evidence from doctoral studies or from academic articles that you can present, then that's fine, present that. But ultimately, if it's not approved, it's not approved, and you've got to just move on. And so be prepared for that. That's why you don't do passion projects. That's why you don't do things that you're too close to, because you will not be able to let it go. Choosing a topic that's not dissertation worthy, it's too small in scope. That's a problem. We'll talk about that in the residencies. Becoming overwhelmed, don't know how to start. Again, if you get those situations where you're becoming overwhelmed, go to your chair, talk to your chair, schedule a FaceTime, schedule a Zoom session, schedule something that allows you to talk with the chair and get over your problem. A student spent 4 months because they got writer's block and couldn't move forward. After me and that student had a 30-minute conversation, they had an epiphany and were able to start writing again. Again, that's what you're looking for. You can contact your peers, you can contact other people at the school, whoever can help you get through that. That's what's important. If you fail to deal with the edits your chair has sent or won't deal with them, that's going to be a problem. Your chair will catch that you didn't do what they asked you to do. They will see that. They will be looking at the track changes to see that you made the edits that they expected you to. If you don't want to make an edit and you have a valid reason for that, talk to your chair about it, because this is a back and forth. However, if the chair finally comes down and say, no, I think you need to do it this way, then you need to do it that way. And don't get your chair to write the literature part dissertation for you. That chair is there to mentor you in doing this work. It's your work that you're doing. A lot of the time, students have unrealistic expectations. They expect things to be fast, to be easy. I'm going to get it done. It's going to be easy. No, it's going to take time. You're going to have to commit to it. It's not going to be something that's going to come easily. If it is, everybody would have a doctoral degree. Oftentimes, students feel like that their chair is standing in their way, or they think if they get a new chair, that chair is going to be easier or better than the chair they currently have. And 90% of the time, that is not the case, and it will hold you back. It will, because you will have to get a new chair up to speed. The new chair will have to read your work. They'll have their own opinions, and their opinions may be different from the previous chair, but also may not be what you're looking for. So no chair shopping. You can't just jump a chair. If you and your chair are having personality conflicts that are unsolvable through professional behavior, then you could think about requesting a new chair, and that will be considered. But otherwise, work with your chair, be professional. This is a professional relationship that will hopefully grow into being a good long-term collegial relationship, but it doesn't always happen that way. And just remember that you also have committee members who also have their own personalities. And so you're managing that team. You're the project manager. Don't cut corners on APA. A lot of people try to use an APA device in Word so that all of their things are kept in line. That ultimately can break and cause problems down the road. So you want to make sure that you know APA and you're using it properly, not that a device is using it for you. Finally, this is a meme that goes around a lot in the academic circles, and it can feel like this, definitely, but it doesn't have to be. And the reason it doesn't have to be at CityU, at least, is because you're not alone. You have help. Your chair, members of the faculty, teachers and instructors and professors that you've had before, the dissertation director, the methodologists, our librarians, subject matter experts, other people in your field. These are people you can reach out to, and you can ask questions of. If you are looking for a particular area of literature, you can find that area of literature. That's something that can happen. Just remember that those resources are out there for you. We'll cover more about that in the live sessions. Again, if you have any questions, bring them to the live session. If they're burning in your hole in your pocket, then send them to me through email, and I'd be glad to address them. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for listening.